Okay, so we're going to explore the experience of two young men who were fishing by a lake. As we can see, beautiful lake, beautiful forests, some hills, when all of a sudden a big flying saucer UFO starts hovering above the lake, glinting in the sun. Although it was evening, the sun was going down behind the mountains. And of course it probably had two female pilots, as they often do. These spacecraft often have two female pilots, two male pilots who take it in turns at piloting the craft. She'll be 700 years old, she'll be like 900 years old, as they often are. They live for thousands of years, these people, with their technology. And what happened was, all of a sudden there was there was no noise or anything, but all of a sudden there was a massive explosion and a brilliant flash of white light. And then all of a sudden the craft disappeared and basically teleported to another place in the universe. And it also had time travel effects, because the time was changed by about 8 hours. So they found themselves in the morning. So say it was 6:30 at evening when it happened, it was now 2:30 in the morning. So there'd been some time travel effects as well. And so what we're going to do is have a quick look at how this could be possible, because surely it can't be possible, surely. But what you've got to remember is that E equals mc squared, mass times the speed of light squared. But also experiments have shown that time is also energy. So you've got E equals tc squared, which people reckon, scientists have reckoned, you can generate 9 times 10 to the 16 joules of energy from just 1 second of time. So this conversion of time into energy, especially along the longitudinal wave, scalar longitudinal wave, which is actually time energy. And this is how you can travel faster than the speed of light, because time is holographic. And people have developed these time machines using electromagnetism, electromagnets, all pointing to a field in the centre which cancels out the north and the south poles and creates almost like a torsion field, a spot or a place where there's no. And this is what the experiments of Wilbur Smith did. He did these experiments, and he put the output of a 1 kilowatt transmitter into his centre, where the fields had been cancelled, the electromagnetic, which is basically like similar to the Earth's magnetic time field. And nothing came out, couldn't find anything. But the boys topside, as he called them, the aliens who sort of got into, who suggested these experiments, they said they created a 6-dimensional wave, which they used for various things, including pushing and pulling things. In other words, tractor beam technology, transmission of energy, of course, because it's scalar, and various other things. So UFO teleportation and time travel effect, like we say, mass energy relationship, time energy relationship. And these Russians, Jane's Defence Weekly, July the 29th, 2002, under the title Anti-Gravity Propulsion Comes Out of the Closet by N. Cook. The Russian had developed a gravity impulse beam generator, which was described in Jane's Defence Weekly, taken from the book by Herbert Dorsey, Secret Science and Secret Space Program. Also, we've got the fact that other Russians like Shipov created a company, a startup company, which had made some breakthrough experiments in vacuum metric teleportation. And this is what we were talking about before, about in another video, about how the sugar making vacuum equipment created a teleporter. Basically, it created like a rift in time and space, and they were using 4-dimensional gyroscope, the 4D warp engine. This was the first step towards topological teleportation, where the object falls into the wormhole and appears at a different space-time point. Well, what happened with the vacuum sugar event, as it's called, was that the equipment used for boiling sugar quickly created a vacuum. But what happened was there was a popping sound, and all of a sudden this bubble kind of expanded, and you could see all these stars, and it was another part of the galaxy. And some woman got a bit too close to it, and she sort of put her head in to have a closer look, and she was wearing a hat and a scarf, and suddenly she started to have this scream, and so they quickly pulled her back out, and she'd been very close to the vacuum of space at this other point in space and time, and she'd lost her hat and coat, which are now floating somewhere in the galaxy, in another part of the galaxy. And so the guy was very the equipment had been patented, and so we know, because a lot of these scientific discoveries are actually discovered by accident, and a lot of them are discovered by accident. Now, whether they're actually taken up and developed or not, this one wasn't. This vacuum teleportation, this vacuum, space portal that was connected to another side of the galaxy, nobody's actually nobody's replicated it, and I won't try doing that either, because it's extremely dangerous. I mean, what happens if the portal grew, the vacuum portal grew to the size of the Earth, and then the Earth passed through it? It'd be found in another. You could move the Earth from its current position to another side in the galaxy, and this is how spaceships can move. You know, it's like, how do you get from here to the other side of the galaxy or the universe at the speed of light? No, just use a vacuum teleportation portal that you open up, and then your spaceship can go through at 2 miles an hour. How to get to the other side of the universe going at 2 miles an hour. Till next time.